welcome to Half the Battle. You know, Thanksgiving isn't that far away. And you want to know what I'm thankful for? My toys!
So today I thought I'd share my top 7 favorite toys that I own.
Why yes, this is just an excuse to show off some of the awesome stuff I've got.
Before we get to the list proper, I do have 2 honorable mentions. First, there's the septic tank.
Yes, I can sense your bewilderment. But Timmer, don't you hate the septic tank? Yes, I do. I hate the toy as a concept.
But this particular one I don't mind, since it was a gift. Well, a gag gift from Steve. I hope to someday repay the favor, but anthrax is really hard to find here.
Ain't no way this was getting on the actual list though.
Secondly, there's Commando Hank. What began as a one-off joke on Twitter has blossomed into the unofficial mascot for the channel. Combine that with the fact this is the actual figure from my childhood, it at least deserves an honorable mention. Number 7. Jetfire.
Jetfire rules!
I know this toy is somewhat of a holy grail for some people, so I wanted to share the story of how I got this. I got a flyer put up at our store asking for G.I.Joe and other 80s toys. One day, a guy walks in asking if I needed Jetfire. Turns out he was a collector.
Not of Transformers, but of Jetfire.
Not multiple versions, just Generation 1 Jetfire. Yeah, during the lockdowns, remember those, he wanted a new hobby, so he started buying G1 Jetfires.
Like a lot of them.
He admitted he'd gone a little stir-crazy and went overboard with it, so now he was trying to unload a few. I picked this one, there's yellowing, but it's complete, so I got it for a decent price. So yeah, hard to find toy just walked into my store, and I'm happy to have it.
I ain't never putting this thing in jet mode though. I hate complex transformations, and I'd be terrified about breaking the freaking thing.
Number 6. Doc. I'm talking about the 2007 convention-exclusive female version, not the original. This figure has been a holy grail for me for a very long time, I guess since 2007 you could say, and I was finally able to get one thanks, again, to HCC 788.
And speaking of holy grails...
Number 5. The Terrordrome. Okay, so this awesome playset was never released in Belgium, meaning I never had a chance to get one as a kid. So this was my very first holy grail. And I was very lucky to find one on eBay in the late 90s or early aughts, I really don't remember, complete with box for like $300. Sold by somebody I knew from a G.I.Joe mailing list, so I knew they were on the level. So yeah, not only was this my first holy grail, but also the first one I ever got. Number 4. His tanks.
Okay, who didn't see this one coming?
Yeah, my fleet of his tanks is one of those things that brings me no end of joy. Didn't I say earlier that the other guy was stir-crazy because of his multiple Jetfires?
The sun is coming through beautifully in this glass house, isn't it? Especially because...
Number 3. Seekers! Yeah, I got my own thing with robots that transform into jets. But hey, at least in my case, they're all different characters. That use the same body mold, true, but still... Look, Seekers are cool, and it took me a long time to get this group together.
And speaking of a group...
Number 2. The Shudensi Bioman Shoto set.
Okay, this requires some background information.
These are the main characters of the 1984 Bioman Super Sentai series. That show was dubbed in French and shown in France and Belgium. And it was hugely popular. It was Power Rangers before Power Rangers existed, in French. I was a huge fan back in the day and was always bummed there weren't any action figures in the G.I.Joe scale. That is until 2020 when this set came out in Japan. So I just had to get the set. I'm just sorry there aren't any plans to give most of the bad guys figures too, especially since Farah Kat was like my first childhood crush. Damn, girl had the moves and the look.
Moving quickly on.
This should come as no surprise whatsoever. My number 1 favorite toy is my Crimson Guard Army.
Yeah, big shock, right?
I'm an army builder, as you should know by now, and the Crimson Guard Army is my pride and joy. Well, all the stuff I've shown you today is my pride and joy, but this stands out even among all that. All I can say is thank God for flea markets in the late 90s, or this would have cost me a fortune. So, those are 7 of my favorite toys. Do you have any favorites yourselves? Let me know in the comments below.
Well, I'll see you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?